History is not just about the past, it's about understanding ourselves today. With this in mind, have you ever wondered what stories your town, school, or even family might hold? What traditions, songs, or dances have been passed down in your community? Why do we celebrate certain festivals or believe in particular myths? In this video, let's explore these questions together as we uncover the rich history of folklore and culture that shape who we are. Are you ready to dive into the stories of our local communities? So sit back, relax, and watch our video. Hi everyone, I am Gabriel Marie Bulaklak from Base HM1A. Today, I will share a report about the rich history and culture of our local communities. This includes the stories behind landscapes, traditions, and the lives of people in specific areas. First is scope. Landscape history. Landscape history focuses on physical elements of the environment, like buildings, archaeological sites, or monuments. So examples of landscape history is a castle or church. Could reveal historical architectural styles, social practices, or religious importance, while street and school provide insights into community planning and educational development. Geopolitical history. This explores the political and social history grew into a town, helps explain local governance changes, community needs, and resource management over time. Local culture. So it includes tradition, folklores, myths, and songs that reflect the values and beliefs of a particular group in a specific area. So example is indigenous rituals or legends can highlight a community's connection to the land and their historical worldview. Family or personal history. So it studies the genealogy of families or the life stories of influential individuals in a community. So example is tracing the family history of local leader can provide insight into their contribution to the area's development. Why it is important? The importance is first, it gave us holistic view about crucial and controversial events that took place in our local communities and its effect vis-a-vis to national affairs. So example, a protest in a small town might have sparked a larger national movement. 2. It paves the way to clear understanding of historical patterns and connection with each other, then procures vivid view of history in general. So it identifies recurring themes or events and how they relate to one another across time. So example is studying how land disputes in one area relate to a broader national land reform policies. 3. Allow us to study national events within the context of local communities. So it provides a ground level view of how national policies or events influence everyday life in local communities. So example of this is analyzing how a national economic crisis impacted small business owners in a specific town. Sources. Local environments. Example is Google Maps, street signage, old post boxes, signs, blocks, food, scrapers, and other forms of street furniture. Building clues, monuments, landmarks, drawings, paintings, photographs, house plans, building plans, documents from local police, and titles from LGU or registry of these, eyewitnesses, archaeological crafts, school records, newspaper, journals, letters, etc. So, for example, is I will give an explanation about physical evidence. So, physical evidence includes street signs, plaques, and landmarks that offer clues about community history. So example is, an old postback might reflect colonial influences, while plaques commemorate significant local events. In written records naman niya, naamo sa ang local press, records, land titles, and newspaper. So, this can reveal historical events, property, ownership, or community disputes. An example is, a church baptism record might help trace the genealogy of prominent families. So, sa visual media naman, ang muna di ang artworks, photographs provide sang visual representation sang community, sang pasang community. Example is historical photos of town festivals. So, ga-reveal siya sang cultural practices and dress styles. Di naman magawa ang eyewitness. Siyempre sa eyewitness, personal testimonies from residents provide vivid first-hand insight into historical events or cultural traditions. So example ba, tigo lang nga resident, ga-recounting siya sa unang war na experiences niya. So ka-on offer unique local perspective, diba? So archaeological evidence. So excavated artifacts reveal daily life, trade, or cultural exchanges in the past. Example, pottery found in a site might show trading relationship between neighboring communities. Lastly, methodology. Methodology use interviews, context analysis for documents, archival research, archaeological excavations. So in interviews, syempre direct talking to people to gather their memories, stories, or knowledge. Example, ka-interview ka local na artist para mas maintindihan mo ang ilang tradition nga technique na napasa sa through generations. Context analysis. Context analysis, reviewing documents, letters, or images for themes and historical information. So example is analyzing old journals to understand how people view a local epidemic. Sa archival research naman niya, syempre digging into libraries or archives for records and documentation. For example, accessing school records to study changes in educational practices over time. Sa kabi ka mistra, gusto mo pa mag-dig deeper sa mo na something na topic. So, syempre, magamit ka sa archival research. And archaeological excavation, digging and examining physical remains to understand how people farmed in the past. Our local history and culture are important because they connect us to our past and guide us in the present. They show how communities have grown and how they contribute to the larger story of our nation. That's all of my discussion about my topic, and thank you for listening and watching.
History is not just about what happened, but about who was there to tell it. I am Kirk Stanley Borja from BSHM 1A, and I'm going to tackle about oral history. Oral history, defined by Park 2013, is the systematic collection of living people's testimony about their own experiences. University of Leicester Center of Urban History defined oral history as the recording, preservation, and interpretation of historical information based on the personal experiences and opinions of the speaker. The following are the scope where oral history can be identified. First, geopolitical history, an area like a village or housing estate or a whole town. Second, local culture. Oral history can be identified in indigenous knowledge, systems, and practices of a particular group in a geographical area, folklore, myths, music history, and epic. Lastly, family history. Oral history can be traced down into your family history. For example, your grandparents' life experiences. That can also be oral history. Why oral history is important? It is important because it helps us understand how individuals and communities experience the forces of history. Second, it teaches us what has changed and what has stayed the same over time. It preserves for future generations a sound portrait of who we are in the present and what we remember about the past. Let's remember that history is more than just dates and events. It's the stories of people who lived through it. That's where oral history comes in, a powerful tool that captures the voices, memories, and experiences of individuals often forgotten in written records. Once again, history is not just about what happened, but about who was there to tell it. Bright morning, everyone.
Hi everyone, I am Cassandra Ala from BSHM 1A and my topic is about Philippine festivals. Philippine festivals or fiestas are celebrated in honor of religious events, saints, and important historical moments. These events show the deep connection between Filipino culture and its history, particularly the influence of the Spanish colonizers who introduced Catholicism and traditions like the fiesta. And American occupation also contributed to modernizing some celebrations. The key features of Philippine festivals are music, dance, and food. Celebrations are lively and filled with local delicacies. Examples of Philippine festivals are Sinulog Festival in Cebu. It celebrates Santo Niño with colorful street dancing. Ati-Atihan Festival in Aklan honors Santo Niño and showcases tribal costumes. Pahiyas Festival in Dokban, Quezon. It celebrates a bountiful harvest with decorated houses. This photo shows dancers wearing colorful costumes representing their devotion to Santo Niño. The dynamic movements of the dancers mimic waves, symbolizing the flow of blessings. To summarize, Philippine festivals are a vibrant representation of Filipino culture, history, and spirituality. They bring communities together, preserve traditions, and showcase the joy and hospitality of Filipinos. Thank you for your time. I hope you learned something interesting about Philippine festivals and importance in our culture.
Good day everyone, I am Juliet Tintalas from BSH1A and today I will be discussing to you the history, significance, and impact of the Black Nazarene.
The Black Nazarene is a statue of Jesus Christ carrying the cross, which is one of the most important religious symbols for Filipino Catholics. The statue is venerated especially in the Philippines, where millions participate in the annual procession called Translacion. This event and the devotion to the Black Nazarene are central to Filipino Catholic culture and identity.
The Black Nazarene is believed to have arrived in the Philippines in the early 1600s. So, giobra siya sa Mexico, then gidala sa Philippines by those Augustinian friar collectors. Before, light pa na yung color, pero sa mga nagdaang panahon biya, mas naging darker pa yung color. Then, ang statue was first placed in a church in the town of Quiapo, Manila. Dayon, na-move ni siya sa current home niya sa Minor Basilica of the Black Nazarene, also known as the Quiapo Church. So the translation of the Black Nazarene is very important, especially for those Filipino Catholics, because for them, the Black Nazarene represents the suffering of Jesus Christ. It is a symbol of faith and hope, particularly for those seeking blessings, healing, or protection. So, ginaselebrate ni siya ang translation every 9 of January. Millions of people take part to the translation, a massive procession that marks the transfer of the statue to the church. So, ang mga devotees na nila, or ang mga tao nga ga-join sa amon na mga translation, ga-tiniil or ga-barefoot biya, because it is an act of penance and humility seeking to imitate Christ's journey. Ang translation kaya din lang about religious events, but it is also a way for people to connect with Christ's suffering and also to ask for divine intervention in their lives. Actually, dili lang taga Luzon or taga Quiapo, Manila ang gajoin sa translasyon, but also people from Visayas and Mindanao. Like, i-travel yung biya sila day before, kahulat sila pila ka oras, grabe nilang, like, abot na sa points na kagutom, para lang ma-witness ang pagbalhin sa statue or pag-transfer sa statue sa church. And then, the Black Nazarene is believed to have healing power. Amo nang grabe gid ang pagpaninguha sa mga tao nga makapahid lang, bisan makapahid lang sa isa ka panyo sa amo nang ang Black Nazarene. Kay kay dito rin nga pag makapahid ka sa status ng Black Nazarene, may healing ay may minoy power na nga makapaayo sa mga sakit. Next is the cultural and social impact. So the devotion to the Black Nazarene is more than just a religious practice. It is a major part of the Filipino cultures. The annual Translation procession has become a nationwide event that brings people together regardless of their background. For many, it is a chance to express gratitude, seek help, or fulfill a vow. The procession creates a strong sense of unity and solidarity among Filipinos. However, ang aring event kay imposible kay nga walay mga challenges like accident. There's a lot of people out there, million of people, so imposible kay nga walay mga incident katabo. Wala na ito pinapray nga may mga incident ka matabo, but dili na maiwasan nga matabo. Like, makawatan, makuyapan, tungkol sa kagutom, kang sa kauhaw. Kaya, syempre, gutok na ang palibot mo. Di nakakalibot-libot para makapangitang pagkaong tubig. Kaya, ang goal ni mo dira, kaya makahikap o makapahid sa statue mo. Pero somehow, minastricto naman sa government ang safetyness sa mga tao na gajoin sa procession. So, the Black Nazarene has become a powerful symbol of Filipino identity. It is deeply connected to the values of resilience, faith, and humility, which are central to Filipino culture. Many Filipinos see the suffering Christ and the statue as a reflection of their own struggles, whether they are personal or societal. Through their devotion, people find strength and hope. And the Black Nazarene serves as a reminder of both their faith and their ability to overcome hardships. To conclude, the Black Nazarene is an important religious symbol in the Philippines, representing faith and devotion. Its history and yearly translation procession show how much Filipino Catholics honor it. Beyond religion, it also reminds people of their strength, resilience, and unity in times of difficulty. And that's all, guys. Thank you so much, and I hope you learned something about the procession of the Black Nazarene.
Bright morning, everyone. My name is Arjuna Jane P. Barcenalia of BSHM 1A, and the topic that I will discuss for today is about the Ati-Atihan Festival. So, Ati-Atihan Festival, or the Kalibo Santo Niño Ati-Atihan Festival, is the Philippine festival held annually in January in honor of the Santo Niño, Holy Child, or Infant Jesus, in several towns of the province of Aklan, Panay Island. The biggest celebration is held during the third Sunday of January in the town of Kalibo, the province's capital. The name Ati-Atihan means to imitate the Ati. So what is the history of Ati-Atihan? Ati-Atihan originated in the 13th century as a pagan festival. So when we say pagan festival, is a celebration that honoring their gods, or what we say Dios Dios, an important part of paganism. They are often associated with specific season, lunar phases, and agricultural rhythms. So, it began as a celebration between the Aitas, indigenous people of Panay Island, and the Malays from Borneo, who arrive at this island seeking a new place to live. So, Malay immigrants choose to show the respect for the local Ate people by painting their faces black and singing and dancing in thanks for the food and land that was offered to them. During Ati-Atihan Festival, participants would use burnt coconut husk or crushed coal mixed with oil to paint their body black. And the costumes that they use are made of simple materials like coconut husk, dried banana leaves, and wooden mat. So what material is used in the Ati-Atihan music? So the instrument used in the Ati-Atihan festival are commonly drums, trumpets, xylophones, gongs, and lyres. During the festival, the people would perform a street parade known as a sad. So sad is what the locals call the way of dancing, where the foot is momentarily dragged along the ground in the tune of the beat played by the marching bands. So a quick trivia guys. So did you know that in 1972, the fiesta in Cadiz City was also called Ati-Atihan Festival? But elsewhere in the Philippines, there was also Ati-Atihan Festival, which is in Calibo, Aklan. So faced with challenge of differentiating itself, the Governor Joseph Marañon proposed that each city give its festival a distinct identity. So during 2002, it was called the Dinagsa Festival, commemorating the pagdagsa sang balyena in kada city. What symbolizes Ati-Atihan Festival? The Ati-Atihan Festival is celebrated to honor the Santo Niño and to commemorate a peace pact between two warring tribes. It is believed to be the oldest festival in the Philippines and celebrate the indigenous population of the country while honoring the infant Jesus. So, did you know that Sinulog, Dinagyang, and all other festivals in the country gained inspiration from the Ati-Atihan, and this is the reason why it is called the mother of all Philippine festivals. Ati-Atihan Festival is also a symbol of devotion and protection, and the Aitas believe that the Santo Niño was a powerful protector, and the festival was a way to honor and celebrate his power.
So, good day everyone. This is a topic that assigned for me and Kirby Carbacal. Well, this text discusses how the Filipino folk dances reflect the country's culture and traditions. It highlights that these dances are passed down from generation to generation, expressing beliefs, moods, and emotion. These also mirror daily life, historical events, and cultural identity. This text emphasizes the diversity of Filipino folk dances with different forms, dynamics, and origins. It invites readers to explore how these dances offer a glimpse into the country's rich history and cultural heritage. Thank you. Well, here's some examples of cultural performances in Philippines, including traditional theater, dance, regional festivals, weddings, and funerals. These events have certain characteristics such as a limited time span, performers and audience, plays, and organized activities. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Jun Kirby R. Carbacal from BSHM 1A, and my topic is about Philippine cultural performances, Philippine folk dance. Philippine folk dance helps keep the people connected to their ancestry and their traditions. Folk dances helps to preserve the cultural unity of the people. Filipinos think folk dances are important because they help keep the culture alive. Peoples have been doing folk dances for hundreds of years, and there is value keeping the traditions alive. Folk dances are important because they preserve the Philippine culture and pass it into the next generation. They are a uniting force to the Filipino people. So what is Philippine folk dance? Philippine folk dance are traditional dances that reflects the Philippine rich culture and history. Each region in the Philippines has its own unique folk dances, influenced by local customs, beliefs, and traditions. Folk dances are typically accompanied by traditional music, often using instruments like the bamboo flute, the kulintang, which is the xylophone in English, and the drums. Dancers wear colorful and elaborate costumes that are specific to the region and dances. Folk dance may involve a variety of steps, movements, and formations, including graceful, energetic, and sometimes humorous elements. So why is Philippine folk dance important to the Filipino people? Folk dance is important because they help keep the culture alive and the tradition of the Filipinos. So, ang folk dance na kasanayan na sa mga Pinoy nga sa uton kay even sa mga atong mga kalululuhan, kalulalahan, may gasaot na gina sa folk dance like sa mga events sa school, like intramurals, may mga folk dance competition kag sa mga festivals like sa city festival, may other cities naman nga ga-compete sila for folk dance and panamiay sila sa costumes, sa mga movements, paano i-execute ang dance. So the Filipino people thinks that the Philippine folk dance is the way that keeps their culture and tradition alive because of the movements and the costumes that is used in performing of Philippine folk dance. And that's all. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Pacifica Serva from Group 1. For today's report, I will talk about singkil. Isa sa importante nga folk dance sa Philippines. And I'm gonna do this report along with Romel Caballero. So for my part, singkil is a traditional dance from the Maranao people sa Mindanao. Nagatal siya sang epic na stories ng darangan na nag-narrate sa mga challenges nga na-face si Princess Gandingan, who was caught in the middle of the forest or sa tunga sang kagubatan. So I have a question. Explanation. Did you know that singkil is not just a form of entertainment but also a symbol of bravery and elegance? And to answer that question, ang singkil nagrepresenta sang courage kag grace sang prinsesa nga nagalampuan sa mga obstacles siya dalan, represented by crisscrossing bamboo poles. Ang dance nag-highlights of how gracefully she avoids these poles while maintaining poise and dignity. So, ang highlights ng folk dance is that the bamboo poles represents the trees that were falling during the ordeal of Princess Gandingan, nga iya ginavoid nga graceful kag dignified. Ang bells naman siya angkles called singkil, naga-provide sang rhythmic sound nga nagamatch sa tempo sang saot. Usually, ang princess naka-accompany ni siya by loyal slaves carrying sa mga decorated nga umbrellas na ipakita ka rin sa pictures. Kag ang atong mga umbrellas, ang slaves, nag-represent na siya sa royalty kag protection. To further explain this topic, Romel Caballero will do the continuation. Thank you.
My name is Romel Caballero and I'm gonna discuss about the further nga details kag madungag sang information about sa singkil. Ang singkil sa una ginatawag isa ka noble dance nga ginasaot para ipakita ang pagka-royal sa mga ladies of Lanao royalty. Ang prinsesa may kaupod nga alipin nga nagaobra sa iya o nagadala sa decorated umbrella para magpakita sa pagprotektar sa iya sa bilog nga sayaw. So bali sa picture nga makita naton, ang prinsesa makita nga nagasaot sa tunga-tunga sang crisscross bamboo poles. Ang iyang mga movement graceful bisan sa presensya sang challenge nga rhythm sang kawayan. Ginagamit man niya ang aper or fans. The fan symbolize air nga nagarepresentar sang hope kag luck. Overall, singkil remind us nga sa tunga sang kabudlayan, need kita nga magpabilin nga graceful kag dignified. Naga-reflect ni sang determination kag reliances. Kag nagapakita kung paano ginarespeto kag ginapalangga sa mga Filipino ang ila kultura. Ang mga movements sang singkil isa ka paagi sang pagpanumbalik naton sa atong ginhalinan. Kagahatag sang dako nga importante sa kultura sa Mindanao. Salamat gid sa inyo tanan sa pagpamati sa among report. I hope damo kamo matun-an kag ma-appreciate ninyo ang iya artistic kag culture significant. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Nalaylene Argarticiano, and what I'm going to share to all of you today is all about the Maglalatik dance, or also known as the dance of war. So let's all dig deeper about what this discussion is all about. So the Maglalatik dance, or the Maglalatik, comes from the word latik, which means the coconut milk that is used by Filipino when they are cooking. Maglalatik is also known as magbabaw, that is derived from Filipino word where bao means a coconut shell. So why the Filipinos back then use coconut shells as their props? Because it reflects the agricultural lifestyle of rural Filipinos, particularly in regions like Laguna, where the dance was originated. So what is the purpose of this dance? It was initially performed as a ritual dance to honor Saint Isidro Labrador. So who is he? San Isidro Labrador, or also known as Saint Isidore the Laborer, is the patron saint of farmers, laborers, and rural communities. He is also a Spanish farmer who lived in Madrid, Spain. So when it comes to cultural symbolism, it portrays the battle between the Moros, which are the Muslims, and Christians. It symbolizes the Spanish colonial influence and subsequent cultural fusion. So when it comes to dance elements, dancers there are shirtless and they wear coconut shells on their chest, backs, thighs, and hips, striking them to create rhythmic sounds during the performance. When it comes to music, the dance is accompanied by fast-paced drum beats that guide the movements and intensity the battle scenes. So the choreography there, it involves rapid movements such as clapping, hitting, stamping, and mimicking combat that is requiring agility and coordination. So what are the significance of this Maglalatik dance? The latter parts of the dance represents reconciliation and harmony between warring factions, emphasizing peace and cooperation. Heritage preservation is that it is an integral part of the Filipino cultural identity, and is often performed during national celebrations or even in school programs. The Maglalatik dance showcases the artistry and resourcefulness of Filipino traditions, using everyday materials and blending storytelling with physical performance. So that's all. I hope you've learned something about our discussion today about the Maglalatik dance. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Ryan Coligado from BSHM 1A. My topic is about Pandango sa Ilaw, Grace and Balance. Pandango sa Ilaw. The word Pandango comes from the Spanish dance Fandango, characterized with lively step and clapping while following a varying 3/4 beat. Pandango requires excellent balancing skills, maintain the stability of 3 tengoy or oil lamps placed on head and the back of each hand. This famous dance of grace and balance originated from Lubang Island sa Mindoro. This dance was first created in the Philippines during 15th century when the country was
for the first time colonized by the Spanish. What is Pandango sa Ilaw? Grace and Balance. Pandango sa Ilaw, gitranslate sa English nga Dance in the Light, kag originated in the Lubang Island, Mindoro. While balancing light, ang mga dancer da kay ga-hold candle or oil lamps while ga-perform sila, kag makita po na natin ila graceful movements nga slow, flowing step, and gestures. Ang ana pagida dancers ga-balance sila sang candles while executing intricate footworks. Pandango sa Ilaw represents sang resilience overcoming challenges, symbolized by balanced candle, hoplite candle, present guidance and illumination, beauty showcase of Filipino culture and heritage. Pandango Salaw, captivating dance that embodies the essence of Filipino tradition and elegance. Its graceful movements, intricate footworks, and symbolize candlelight. That is grace. Grace, our dancer move with fluidity and elegance, making each step appear effortless even while balance the lamps. And what is balance? The balance challenge of keeping the lamp steady requires core strength, concentration, and body control, symbolize harmony and precision and movements.